And joining me on Newshour Direct and Exclusive is the newsmaker tonight. Minister of State for Information and Technology as well as Skill Development, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, joins me live on the Newshour tonight. And Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, what should I say? Today you are the man in the middle of every controversy that has broken in the last 12 hours in India. Snoopgate, there is an FIR against you, and of course you're peeping into every single phone of every opposition leader in the India alliance. How would you defend yourself and your government when time and again charges of snooping are made against you, Rajeev Chandrasekhar?
No, I think, Navika, charges are very easy to make. I think to understand what is going on and to comprehend, I mean, this is my colleague Ashwini Vaishnav today has had a press conference. Unfortunately, I was not in Delhi. I'm traveling to attend an AI safety summit. Look, the facts are very clear. Apple is the company that has to explain what those notifications are about, because they have put out a press note that says that there has been no state actor, but then they have covered this press release with a lot of other statements that seem a little vague. And so there needs to be a clear investigation, because Apple is a company that claims that their devices are secure and private and protects the consumer's privacy. So either their devices are secure and protect the consumer's privacy, or they are not. If they are, then the threat notification need to be explained by them in terms of what it means. But if the devices are not secure, then the threat notifications must be explained in terms of what the vulnerabilities on their platforms are, on their devices are. As far as the government of India is concerned, our Prime Minister and our government has been very clear and steadfast. We consider the privacy of every consumer, the data protection of every consumer a fundamental right. We consider it our duty to strengthen it and to do whatever is necessary to protect every consumer, and we have done it. We have legislated it. It is under Prime Minister that privacy became a fundamental right. The Supreme Court found that under Article 21. So I think we are very clear that it is for the device manufacturer to explain what these so-called threat notifications are. And as I today researched it on the aircraft when I first heard about it, the language that Apple uses to describe these threat notifications are, sorry to say this, but very strange and absurd. It says that we may send you the state actor threat notification, but it may be totally false and it may be totally unreliable. So I think they are the ones who have to pell this cat. They are the ones who have to explain to everybody who's got this. People who are in politics have received it. I know friends of mine who are outside politics who have received it. And today I've heard that a colleague or a friend of a union minister has got this notification, and seemingly people from around the world have got this type of notification. So we have said today, Ashwini Vaishnavji has said today in the press conference, it is for Apple to join the investigation and explain what it is they mean by this threat notification. What causes them to issue this threat notification? Is it that their devices are vulnerable? Or if the devices are secure, then it is something else that is causing them to issue the threat notification.
Well, Rahul Gandhi has already called it an attempt at hacking. Asaduddin Owaisi says it. Mahua Moitra says it. Raghav Chadda of the Aam Aadmi Party. Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena. Now, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, while you say that Apple needs to actually join the investigation and explain their position on this, isn't it a coincidence that such senior leaders in the opposition get this notification, but not a single one in the BJP getting this notification, not other people? Is it really leading the opposition to believe, whether it is Pegasus or whether it is an Apple notification, it only goes to them?
Look, I said this during that very flop show, Pegasus agitation by the opposition. It is the easiest thing today to create a conspiracy theory. people don't know the details of. So it's very easy to make up these stories and say there is this dark dungeon somewhere in the government and there are these people sitting around computer screens and all we have to do is sitting around and hacking people's phones. It makes for interesting Hollywood type movie scripting. But the fact is, today, the manufacturer of a device, the person who owns the operating system of the device that claims that the device is secure, the device is designed for privacy, has to explain whether that device is truly secure and truly is designed for privacy or it is vulnerable.
I'm calling you the state actor because as far as people in this country are concerned, you're the state.
As much as you like as much as you like me and you say I'm a state actor, the word state actor, what that means, Apple has to tell us. Is it a state actor? Because they are the ones sending the notification that is a state actor. Is it the government of India? Is it the government or state government? Is it a state instrumentality? Is it the government of some other country abroad? Is it some vested interest from across the border? What do they mean by state actor? I have no clue. I went to the website today, understood what they mean by threat notification, and I saw the language that says that we use information to detect whether there are state actors. But that this can be unreliable, this can be meaningless, and this need not be serious. So I can't, honestly, I can't translate that type of vagueness to you on behalf of Apple. It is for Apple to do that, and I hope Apple will, and it is certainly our intention as government, as Ashwini Vaishnav today has mentioned in the press conference, to ask Apple to clarify what they mean. And for all those who are anxious today, including those names that you mentioned, I think we should wait for what Apple says during the investigation.
You're being coy, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, because you and I go back a long time when telecom reform started in this country, and I'm talking about the year 1995. When you were in your other corporate avatar, and at that time also we have discussed that of course there are actors within the government that snoop. Some are through the proper channel of the Home Secretary permissions, and some just happen. We all know that it's the worst kept secret in any government, not just yours.
Yeah, but accepting, Navika, again, respectfully will tell you that when I was in telecom in those days, it was not the world we have today. Today is an encrypted world. Apple talks repeatedly about how their phones are secure because of the encryption they use. It is not the same old days in 1995 when there would be a DIG of the police who can plug in and listen to you speak or listen to you communicate. This is a totally different world. It is an IP-centric world. Almost all of the communication today is encrypted. It's end-to-end encrypted, whether it is a messenger service, whether it is storage of data on the phone. That is what these companies like Apple constantly say to tell you that they are secure and they are designed for privacy. Now, if that product is truly secure and it is encrypted, then please tell me, how does the government come into the picture to explain if there is a threat notification that is issued by Apple? It is for Apple to explain. And if the Apple, who's the one who's looking at the information and saying there's a threat notification, they must explain what that threat notification and what caused it.
All right. So then let me ask you the other big controversy on Ms. Mohua Moitra's presence before the ethics committee and the entire controversy, the way it's being looked at. You can find out very easily whether her account through NIC was entered into from India, from Dubai, and that matter from the ethics panel is also pending before your ministry. What is the status of that investigation?
Look, I think whatever the ethics committee has referred to NIC, the NIC leadership will deal with it as per the rules, and they will do it absolutely in a manner that is expected of them. I certainly don't want to prejudge that or speak on their behalf. But, I have read and I have seen on television by the Honorable MP's own admission, she admits that she has given her sign-on login credentials to a businessman who was obviously outside of India, and that she didn't see anything wrong with it. That is her point of view. But she has already admitted that she has been giving the login credentials of the NIC the digital sunset platform to the people outside of India. So I don't know what specific details the ethics committee will ask for from the NIC, but whatever the ethics committee asks for, the NIC will certainly deliver as is the duty to do so.
So do you think that if somebody accesses a member of parliament's email account from outside of India, does it tantamount to security breach?
Look, Navika, I don't want to get into what the ethics committee will adjudicate and discuss and decide on this issue, but I can certainly say that it seems to me that today people are a bit more casual about what the rights and wrongs are, about their conduct is. I will only say this, and this I say as an MP. I have certainly never given my login ID as I've been a member of parliament before I became minister for almost 16 years, and I have certainly never given my login ID to anybody outside my personal staff, and so that is, if somebody thinks that is normal, I mean, that is something that the ethics committee will.
What do the NIC rules say? Is it something that you can divulge or not? I mean, what are the guidelines? What are the rules?
Look, like I said, I think that is what the ethics committee will decide. Why should I get into this and prejudge what the ethics committee will do? I certainly would not have done.
Well, so Rajeev Chandrasekhar, let me get on once again to your state, Kerala. Should I call it your home state as a Malayali, or should I call it as a state of your political interests, where you are facing an FIR by the Pinarayi Vijayan government over there because you're spreading hatred? That's the charge against you. How do you respond to that?
I'm not sure how to respond to it. The questions that I raised are questions that are absolutely relevant to every man, woman, and child in Kerala, every Malayali. That when Hamas, an organization that has today in full plain view of almost every person on the planet, has killed, raped, beheaded children, raped women, inflicted a kind of violence that is unimaginable and is primitive, and it's poisonous, and to come to Kerala via video conference and address a group of youth in an atmosphere where everybody is already talking about, in worrying terms, about radicalization of the youth in Kerala. We saw on June 23 an attempt to burn down a train. Fortunately, 200 or 300 people who could have been killed were saved. And the government of Kerala pretended for many, many days after that incident that the man was mentally unstable. And it is only because of the Maharashtra ATS's investigation that it was found that he was an ISIS sympathizer. This is the same state that in September 2023, an ISIS module has been busted by the NIA. This is the same state that has sent over 60 youngsters went from the state to Syria and Afghanistan, joining the Taliban and the ISIS. And so in all this context, if as a Malayali, I cannot worry about Hamas coming in and addressing our youth, and I say, stop this radicalization. You have a duty to stop this radicalization. You have a duty to intervene and prevent this from happening, especially at the time when Hamas has covered itself with such poisonous inglory. When I say that, then I am called communal. And he calls me communal, he calls me poison, and he tries to conflate the Kalmashari incident, where I said very clearly that this type of hatred, this type of violent atmosphere in Kerala leads to consequences against communities that are vulnerable and minorities. So I don't understand that. It seems to me that for Pinarayi Vijayan, if you have a close relationship with Hamas, SDPI, the PFI, then you are not communal. And if you call out Hamas or you oppose violent and poisonous organizations like SDPI and PFI, suddenly I am casting aspersions on a whole community. I never mentioned any community. I never used the word Muslim. I said all along my focus was on this. Really, and I was really angry. A lot of people were angry about this free right that Hamas had, the free pass Hamas had to address the youth in Kerala in a program that was hate against Hindutva, hate against Zionism and Jews. In a hate-filled environment like that, you get Hamas to come and almost light a lamp of hatred, light the fire of hatred. And the government of Kerala says, no, Hamas is not designated a terrorist organization, as if they don't watch the TV, as if they don't read the newspaper, and they use a fig leaf of the Home Ministry's not designating Hamas as a terrorist organization as a way to continue the Hamas engagement with the youth of Kerala. This is appeasement politics, Navika, and when they're called out for appeasement politics, and both Congress and the left are in this mad race to see who appeases more and who puts the state at risk more.